Welcome to Jump Scare Rewind. This is the show where I speak with fellow cinemaniacs about their mutual affection for all things horror movies. Today's guest...
On this week's episode of Jump Scare Rewind, we are joined by screenwriter John Doolan, known for Banshee, Assault of the Sasquatch, Alien Opponent, Remains 2, Road to Reno, Dead Souls, Deep in the Darkness, and my favorite, Wishin' and Hopin', because I have a wee role in it, and it's really good, The Murder Pact, Stalker's Prey, Splitting Image, A Predator's Obsession, Stalker's Prey 2, A Predator Returns, Stealing in Suburbia, Ouija Witch, Yoga Teacher Killer, and most recently, Popeye The Slayer Man. Everyone, please welcome John Doolan.
John Doolan.
I forgot about half of those movies. Yeah, it's been I've been doing it since 2006, so over 20 years worth of almost 20 years worth of movies now.
Oh my God. Can you tell us what you're working on now?
Not really. There is a sequel that I'm writing right now to a movie that came out not that long ago. And then there's a couple other horror movies I'm doing, and then they just finished wrapping it's like a stalker movie called Long Time Listener. So that'll be coming out next year.
I'm excited. I know I'm not going to say anything, but you did mention something to me in the grocery store. We live near each other, so we run into each other. So I'm excited about that when you can talk about it. Thank you for doing this. Have you seen any new horror movies or new to you horror movies lately?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I've been September, I mean, technically August marks spooky season start for me. But like September.
Oh, you started early.
I really get into it in September. So I did a full rewatch of the entire Halloween series. So that's nothing new to me. So I did all 13 of the movies that I do every year. And
are there that many good ones?
Yes. Question mark. I have my taste. I always like to say horror movie tastes are very subjective, and my Letterboxd ranking caused quite a stir amongst the Instagram folks. So, I mean, you can say they're bad, you could say they're good. I enjoy a lot of them.
That is true.
Yeah,
like,
there's probably
people see horror as a different thing. Like,
there's only maybe 2 or 3 of them that I think are like not good, but I find redeeming qualities in a lot of things.
Did this include the Rob Zombie ones?
Yes.
And do we like those?
Hot take. I like part 2.
I haven't seen that one. Okay.
It's different. I like it because it's different. The first one is what it is, it tried to do something with it, didn't really succeed. The second one is like all bets are off kind of a movie, and I respect an ambitious failure is what I'll say.
Okay, and I'm sure as a screenwriter you can appreciate what they were trying, whereas I might not know.
I don't agree that all of it works, but I enjoy it for what it's trying to do.
Is his wife in that one as much?
Of course, yeah, not as much. She's a ghost in it, so I mean, well, she might be a ghost, she might be a vision. It's up to your imagination.
Okay, all due respect to her.
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
She's great in Lords of Salem, we'll say that.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's worth seeing too?
Oh, I think that's his best movie. Yeah.
Oh, I like The Devil's Rejects.
Oh, yeah, the Lords of Salem is his only one that doesn't have like that, the F word is every other word that comes out of every character's mouth in it. So it's a little more subdued and a little bit more cerebral than the other stuff.
All right, I'll check it out. That's see any new movies?
Yeah, I did see. So I go to the movies a lot just to see like any kind of horror movie that comes out. So I just saw The Jester 2, which is a sequel to a very low budget straight to video movie from I think last year. And I did not like the first one, but I am a sucker for giving franchises another chance. And Part 2 is really good. So it's very ambitious for what they had to work with a budget. So skip the Jester 1, go straight to the Jester 2.
And that opened in a theater near us?
It was like a Fathom event thing. So it was a 2-night.
Oh, okay.
It was in Milford for 2 nights. So I had to run out and go see it. Like I think I had somebody cover me at work so I could go see it.
I appreciate your commitment to seeing everything.
Die Hard.
I'm not that good at it. I don't know. I look at reviews and then I'm like, is it worth my time? Did you see The Toxic Avenger? I
did. I saw that in the theater too. Yeah.
Is it good?
It's the best Toxic Avenger movie there is. It's just like, I mean, it's like it's a mainstream trauma movie. So like as much as trauma can be mainstream. So it's like it's a little bit more glossy, it's a little bit more mainstream accessible, but it's still got the ample amount of gore, and like it's not as brutal as the other ones. It's not as un-PC as the other ones. But I won't watch it again, but like I don't regret watching it is what I'll say.
Would Ian like it?
Probably not. Like I just if it like it's one of those movies I'm like, yeah, don't go out of your way to see it, but like if it pops up on like a streamer that you already subscribe to, give it about 20 minutes, and if you're not into it by then, you're not going to be into it for the rest of it.
Okay. No, I see that it is streamable at this point, so I might try it. Based off of your vague recommendation.
Vague, very vague, very it's fine.
So why horror? Why is horror your thing?
So I was raised in a family where horror movies were always present. So my grandmother would make us watch horror movies when she babysat us. And like when my aunt and uncle and like my parents asked her years later, like, why would you let the kids watch this? She was like, they liked it. It shut them up. So like, that's the kind of like grandmother I had. She'd be like, yeah, the kids wanted to watch it. Let's throw it on. So it's like, it's always
sounds
like
amazing.
Oh, she was fabulous. Yeah. So it's always like that chasing the dragon thing of like this, like, destroyed me as a child. So like what else we got going on?
Isn't that true? It is like for me, it is chasing that nostalgia, chasing that high of that scare, which is so hard to find.
Yeah. I also think that horror is like the best genre for, I don't know, sneaking in like other like subtext and stuff like that. You know, like I think horror is very queer, which is why I was attracted to it as a child. But I think it's very political, and people that say it's not are just kidding themselves. You know, it's it's always on topic of what's going on in the country at the time that it was made.
I was thinking, well, in terms of like The Long Walk, that certainly feels timely at this point.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You saw that, right?
Yep, I did see that one. Yeah.
Did you like it?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I wasn't sold on it like a lot of people were. Like I went in expecting a lot because people were praising it. And it was like, I was like, okay, like I see why people like it.
I saw it opening day, so I didn't have that influence.
Yeah.
But it was depressing, which
that's I feel like I don't love depressing horror movies. Like, you know, I'm not a Midsummer kind of guy. I'm not a, you know, like that. And even though I'm fine with those movies, I think they're well made. It's like, I like fun. Like,
I get you. You like the escapism of it.
Yes, very much so. I can appreciate when a movie is more like grounded and more like depressing and is like has a lot on its mind. It's less subtext and more text, but like sometimes you just want to enjoy yourself.
Out of the films that you have written, which one would you say is the most grounded in, as far as the scary ones, not wishing and hoping? Is it Popeye the Slayer Man?
I don't think that one's grounded whatsoever. Popeye was one that was like, I think like, because everyone always, oh my God, you wrote that. And it's like, well, A, it paid the bills. Like, and B,
no shame.
And B, like my job was to write a fun slasher. And I think we accomplished it. Like you know, it's bloody. It's like, you know, it doesn't do anything to degrade the character of Popeye. So I just think like it's okay to just have a fun movie sometimes.
Of course, if it's going to be called Popeye, you don't want it to be, God, if that took itself seriously, it would have been painful.
I always tell people, I'm like, somebody's going to do it. And like literally there was 3 of them that came out at the same time. I like to think ours is the best. I think the director and the producers did an amazing job for like the little money that they had on it.
It looks great.
So like, yeah, it's like just technical wise, I think they did a great job, and they put the money where they needed to, which was like effects work, and like it has great sound, it has great lighting, so it's like it's very professional looking, and like you can argue about the content all you want, but like our goal was to make something fun. And I think we succeeded in that.
It's the only one of the 3 that I've heard of. So I think that's good. It got
I think it's the only one that like looks like a movie. Like I haven't seen the other ones, but I'm just going by what people like. I don't want to badmouth anyone else's work. Of course. But like, I think that it looks like a very well done production. Despite the fact that it's about Popeye killing people.
No, I think that's amazing. I think that's so cool. Okay, so are you ready for some games?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the first one is name that horror movie poster. I'm going to show you 3 images, one really close, one slightly further out, and then one slightly further out from there. Okay. Every time you get a wrong guess, you get a dead. You get 3 deads, you lose. If you get a living dead, that means you got it correct and you win. And then we move on to the next game. And there are 3 hints if you want them.
Okay.
Here's the first image.
Oh, that's cursed. Cursed.
What?
Yeah.
You got that so fast. Yes, that's cursed. Oh my gosh. It's funny because it is a lot like it's like a mix of the Halloween poster and the Scream poster.
And the Scream poster, yep.
Wow, that's okay. All right, next game. Whew. Okay, so next one. Hopefully this is slightly harder. This is a movie poster tagline. I'm going to show you the tagline.
Yep.
See if you can guess the movie. Again, you get 3 hints. You're not going to need it. But here it goes. If you're not back by midnight, you won't be coming home.
Oh, Prom Night.
You're so good at this. I'll give you Your Living Dead. Oh my God. You're really good at this. That's a good movie. I remember.
I love Prom Night, and I love Prom Night 2. Hello, Mary Lou.
Oh, Hello, Mary Lou. Yeah. That's actually, that was a decent movie. Came out like 10 years later.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like 88. Yeah. That was a fun one. Okay. Final game. I've never done them so fast. Final game is connect a horror movie title. This one I play with you.
Okay.
I will hear the instructions.
Now let's play connect a horror movie title. All you do is using the last letter or last few letters or sound of a movie title is how you connect the next movie title. To demonstrate, I'll use non-horror movie titles. Top Gun. Never-ending Story. Year of the Dragon. Gone with the Wind. Wind and the Willows. Top Gun, Never-Ending Story, Year of the Dragon with the Wind and the Willows. Last one to think of a connecting title presents their movie first. Now break a leg.
Now, does that make sense to you?
Little bit. I think I got it.
Okay, so you come up with our first movie title. I'll connect to it, and we'll play from there. What do you want to start with?
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Do you? Okay. I'm going to write them down too, so I can read them back at the end.
Okay.
I know. That seems like a movie you would love. I know what.
Yes, very much.
You did. See the new one? Last.
Yes.
Is it any good? Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. Wow, that's a great review. Go see it, everyone.
It's fine.
I'm going to choose. I don't know if this is really a horror movie, but I think Ravenous.
Yeah, that's a horror movie.
Okay. So Ravenous. Write it down. So you have an S or something with a French movie with nu? I don't
know. Sorority Row.
Oh man, Sorority Row. W. Wendigo.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Yes, it's like a little kid. Yeah. And One Missed Call.
Oh, I don't even know that. Okay.
You don't need to.
Okay. I love that I'm knowing not what to watch from this. Okay. One Missed Call. Oh, Leprechaun.
Okay. Night of the Demons.
Oh, okay. Leprechaun. Night of the Demons. Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Night of the Demons. Yeah,
yep.
Sinners.
Yeah. Oh, I love Sinners. I think it's great.
I love the first half. Once it turned into horror, I didn't love it as much.
It was a little too ambitious, but I think it's really, really, it's gorgeous to look at. So I give it that.
It is. It is for sure.
And there's the only thing better than one Michael B. Jordan is two Michael B. Jordans. So like, no complaints on the cast.
He is great. Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Scary movie.
Okay, all right.
Scary movie.
The Exorcist. Okay. Sorry, that was too fast.
Sisters.
Exorcist.
Sis. That works, right?
Yeah, totally. Cause sound. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Okay, Sisters. Shining. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Gallows.
I haven't seen that. Scream.
Okay. Mary Riley.
Oh man. Okay. That's right. With Julia Roberts, right?
Oh, yeah.
What did that mean?
She very miscast in that movie.
I remember it kind of like clunked out into theaters, and I worked in a movie theater.
Yeah, it was the post Bram Stoker's Dracula days.
Yeah, it looked nice. It was pretty to look at.
Yeah.
Why? Yentl. I'm kidding. I think you win. You win. You won, John Doolan. So, okay, I'm going to read it back, and then you can present your movie. So here it is. I know what you did last summer, Sorority Row and Dingo, One Missed Call, Leprechaun, Night of the Demons, Sinner, Scary Movie, Exorcist. It's hard to try to read it connected. Exorcisters, that was amazing. Shining, Gallows, Scream, Mary Riley. Bravo. And I'll give you
your easiest one would have been You're Next, but
I know we did that like last week, so I was like, I feel like I'm cheating to steal from our last episode. which is gonna make this harder and harder as it goes on. But bravo. Okay, so would you like to tell us what movie you have chosen to discuss today?
Yeah, so I chose the original Scream from 1996.
What a weird coincidence. I just used that in our game.
I know.
Whoa. And why did you choose this film?
So this is one of my favorite movies of all time. My favorite movies are very controversial, but like this is one of the top ones, and it's because I saw it when it first came out. So I was 1996. I was 12 years old. I was 12.
I was 18.
So it became immediately one of my favorite movies. Yeah, and so it's the movie that I first realized that somebody writes this, like when you first put together like what goes into making a movie, like because it was so self-aware, it was so like written by a fan that I was like, this is somebody's job is to write all this down. And
at
so
12 you realized this?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I found they had mass marketed the script on a paperback, and I found it at like an old Borders back in the day. So like I bought the script, and I still have like that little paperback. It's on like my shelf right now. So that's how I learned how to write scripts, reading scripts of movies that I loved.
That is so cool. Let's go to the trailer of it, and then let's continue talking about it. Okay?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Someone is playing a deadly game.
It all began with a scream over 911.
Someone who's seen one too many scary movies. Now, he's taken his love of fear
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
one step too far.
Do you like scary movies?
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Number 1, you can never have sex. Hey, shoot, this me. Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
He didn't make the rules.
The police are always off track. If they watch prom night, they'd save time.
He just kills by them. Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. Don't try to hide.
Everybody's a suspect!
You're not scared, are you?
Scream.
But what was it about that script? Was it all those twists and turns?
I think it was also because like I said, I grew up watching horror movies. And so I had seen Halloween so much, and Scream like references Halloween like left, right, and center. And I had seen like the Friday the 13th and like, Prom Night and all the movies that get referenced. So like the fact that it was like, oh, like this is saying something about those movies. This is very aware of those movies. And I also think that like, like I know Kevin Williamson gets like a lot of shit for like, oh, his like hip dialogue and stuff like that. But like as a geriatric millennial, like Kevin Williamson was our god, Scream. We got our Scream 2, which
Cursed. I liked it.
Cursed is cursed. But Scream 2 is one of the best sequels ever made. And like Dawson's Creek was like so super influential on me. And also like he was an openly gay writer, and like,
oh, I didn't know that.
The queer subtext between like Stu and Billy is like off the charts. And like, I don't even think it's subtext. I think it's pretty textual, but it flies over a lot of people's heads. And like, I like hooked onto that part immediately, as well as like a 12-year-old. Yeah.
That's nice though, that you had that connection to it, which obviously I went into this movie. I remember being excited for it because I loved Nightmare on Elm Street. I make a correction. I was 24 when this came out. I don't know why I said I was old. So I think like you, I was a jaded horror fan at this point. I'd seen it all. But when this came on, I was like, oh, it's not scary. And it's lit like a TV show. It's just bright.
Yeah, it's very bright. Yeah.
But now I love it. I think it is great. It is so smart. They're just having a blast. I love all the movie references. At the time, I'm like, oh, it's so wink, wink. And I think I was just, I don't know. I wanted not to like it.
Yeah, I feel like at a certain age, it's like very easy to just be like, dismiss it as like, oh, it's like just pop culture-ness, like, But, when you look back at it now, like I've always loved it. But like, I understand why people kind of like shamed it a little bit, because it is like, it is kind of giving it's a love letter to horror movies, but it also is giving the middle finger to horror movies a lot. So if you're like a hardcore horror fan, you might be pissed that it's like kind of calling out your favorite movies for what they really were. So
it got copied so much. I mean, obviously the scary movies, but it made such an influence, and which led to a lot of bad horror movies.
And like I have so much love for all of those terrible straight to video knockoffs too. Like just like the nostalgia of them, they're awful. But like I still love like the I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, The Faculty, Bride of Chucky. Like I'm so in the bag for all of that stuff, even though I think that they vary a lot in quality.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went into many of those with high hopes and left like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's great to look back at them now. It's like, oh, they're time capsules, you know, and it's like, I always like to look back at that too, you know, like, especially like something like Urban Legend, which is also written by like an openly gay writer. So it's like, there's a lot of camp in there, but it's filmed through the eyes of a straight man. So it's like, you're going back and forth between campy dialogue and like, just like this more like straightforward, like shooting of it. So like, I love looking back at that kind of stuff.
That all went over my head.
Yeah.
But I think it also goes to like you said, horror is subjective. There's some things that connect with you. Like, for example, are you a fan of Return of the Living Dead?
Oh, I love Returning the Living Dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can be friends.
I do not like zombie movies, and Return of the Living Dead is probably my favorite zombie movie because it's like the Scream for zombie movies, basically.
Totally. To me, it feels like a Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah.
In a horror movie.
Yeah. Dan O'Bannon doesn't get a lot of credit for a lot of what he did for the horror genre. You know,
Didn't he do Alien?
He wrote the original draft of Alien before the rewrites and everything. And, you know, he did Dead and Buried, which is fantastic.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like, I love Return to the Living Dead.
Okay, we can be friends. I was afraid I'd look the other way when I saw you in public now.
Yeah.
We're good. So what else about this film did you connect with? Was it the actors as well? What was it?
Yeah, so it's like, this is a controversial take. I am not like a Sidney Prescott purist.
Oh.
I did not need her in Scream 6. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, it's no Scream without Sidney. I don't need Sidney, and only because like I think Scream's strength has always been in their supporting characters for all the movies. You know, in the first one, Gail Weathers was always my girl. You know, Courtney. And like Rose McGowan as Tatum. I mean, Rose McGowan's on my shirt from a different movie, but like Rose McGowan as Tatum.
She was great. Oh, is that what is that on your shirt?
Jawbreaker.
Oh, okay. I saw it.
But Tatum was like my character in that movie. Like I loved that character in that movie. And only because like in the horror movies, you know, when you have like the dumb big-breasted blonde, she's kind of the bit, you know, and like Tatum's got like an attitude, she's got sass, but she's never like cruel, you know, she's not malicious. So I like that little like subversion of like, oh no, like this is a different kind of best friend, like dumb blonde character, because she's not dumb, she's very smart, she's very witty. And I think like that even got extended into I Know What You Did Last Summer with like Sarah Michelle Gellar's Helen Shivers, who's an absolute icon. Like people don't love I Know What You Did Last Summer. Well, some people do, but like they love Helen Shivers, you know?
I should go back to that and revisit it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she's the best character in that.
Not to spoil the movie for those who haven't seen Scream, but also she has the best demise in the film.
100%. Oh. Yeah, it's so good. And like there's just like it's her styling too, her hair, you know, that platinum dye that they did to differentiate her from Neve Campbell. You know, she's got this more like timeless wardrobe. It's like it's a mix of decades. Like sometimes it's a little 60s, sometimes it's a little 80s because she wears the jersey that's a reference to Johnny Depp in A Nightmare on Elm Street. And like, so that's, and so there's like, she's got this like very eclectic style too. So it's like, I think the wardrobe in all the Scream movies it's always so good. And like, you know, Sydney always has like, she's never like I give Sidney Prescott a lot of shit just because like, I'm like, oh, she's like kind of a different character in every movie, but she is consistent with like her proactiveness and her style and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I always like that, like, she's like in like that jean jacket or she's like in a leather jacket in like parts 2 and 3, you know, I always like a little bit of their edge to the final girl.
I never noticed. I'm the worst.
I've studied these movies a lot.
But as far as a franchise goes, I would say that it's the best continuity of decent
100%
films.
Yeah.
That one before the last one was so good. It was my favorite since the first.
Yeah, I everyone's always like, oh, like what's your least favorite Scream movie? And I'm like, I don't really have, because I don't think that any of them are bad. Like, no. I think that some of them have weak spots. Like I think 3 has a great character arc for like Sydney, but I don't think that it all works, you know. And I think, so I think that there's like varying degrees of like pretty good to great is how I rank the Scream series.
Well, pretty good is acceptable for horror.
Yeah.
Did you hear that Matthew Lillard is coming back for the next Scream?
Yeah, Matthew Lillard's coming back. They said Skeet's coming back. Scott Foley from Scream 3 is coming back.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know how they're working because they're all dead.
They're dead. Yeah.
I don't know how they're working it in. I'm curious to see,
Maybe it's like a Return of the Jedi kind of ghost thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, because the ghost Skeet Ulrich or, Vision Skeet Ulrich is in 5 and 6, but like, I'm like, I don't know how much you're gonna do with that again, especially because that was all in like Melissa Barrera's head, and she's famously not coming back for number 7.
I liked her in these.
Oh, I think she's great in 6. I like controversial opinion. Like,
is that the first one or the last one? The first.
That's the New York one, the one that came out.
I love the one before that.
Yeah, that one's great. 5 is great too. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. But again, like all the supporting characters are always the best. So we got Gale, we got Tatum, who is Rose McGowan. Even like Jamie Kennedy is like as Randy. He's not the best character in hindsight, but like as a kid, as a horror fan, like that was your in to the series. He
was the one I connected to.
Yeah. And like now in like retrospect, it's like, oh, he's kind of an incel. He's a little creepy, but like, in the day, like we didn't care. We didn't know it was that stuff back in the day. And, and then like the supporting characters continue in like Scream 2, because it's like, I love Hallie, the new best friend, and I love Sarah Michelle Gellar's in that, and she's only in like 2 scenes, but she like steals them. So like she's like fantastic as CC Cooper. So I am always like into like those side characters that like Kevin Williamson is able to write. He gives them like so much personality and so little time.
These were huge.
So the first one I've seen, I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen it. I used to come home and like play the VHS when I'd used to come home from school, and it used to just be like a comfort watch. It's like, I'm just going to put Scream on. And so it's like, so I know like every line to it. I know every way it's delivered. I know all the different cuts of it too, because the original VHS that I had was the one that was accidentally printed that had like the unrated cut on it, which had like a couple seconds of extra gore, a couple little alternative takes. So it's like, I know all the differences between like the regular version, the uncut version. And so like, it was like a huge part of my life growing up.
Wait, did they ever come out with an official uncut version, or was that?
Do not believe it was just like a misprint in the original VHS run when they became for retail on VHS. So they had they had 3 different covers. They had one with Neve Campbell, they had one with Courtney Cox, and they had one with Drew Barrymore. And I could only find the Neve Campbell one at my local Blockbuster, so that was the one that I bought. But yeah, they had like the alternative cut on it, where it's like in the opening when Drew Barrymore's boyfriend is getting gutted, you literally see like his guts spilling out, which is great. That. Yeah, and so like now in the original, in the like the normal cut, it's just like there's like a freeze frame of his guts already out, so you don't see them come out. And in the unrated cut, it's like they sped up that like awesome like dolly into Casey hanging from the tree, and it's like in the original cut it's a little bit slower, so there's more frames in there as you get closer, so you get a better look at all the guts piling up at the bottom, like that are coming out of her stomach.
Oh wow, I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's like, and it was all like big controversy back then of like, violence. I mean, the movie literally comments on it. It's like movies don't create killers. Movies make killers more creative. So they're really dealing with that with the MPAA.
Oh, silly. That opening though, when this movie came out, that opening, I was like, this is what am I in for? And then I felt like the rest of the film at the time did not top that. And
I mean, like that is a problem with it, is like that opening is so good. And like, I bought into it like everyone else. I assumed Drew Barrymore was the star of the movie. We all did, because she was all over the poster. She was all over the marketing. She was doing all the rounds for like the daytime talk shows and everything. So we all thought that she was going to like make it out somehow at that last second.
It was brilliant. And that was dark. That was really cool. Is there anything else you want to mention about this film that you want to talk about this film?
Yeah, I do want to talk about like the relationship between like Billy and Stu. You know, like it is this like homoerotic relationship that they have. And I like, I think it's more apparent now, but like, when
Is
you're a
that
little kid.
Lillard and Ulrich?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like at the end, you see that they're kind of like very close. And like the thing that I always noticed too is like, and this is what I clung on to as a kid, is like, Billy obviously had a motive because Sydney's mom broke up his family, and that's why they murdered the mom. But like Matthew Lillard's character, Stu, he never really had a motive. And it was more like when you're growing up as like a queer kid, like you cling on to like any kind of reciprocating feelings that somebody shows to you, because like you know that you're different, you know that like what you're doing is kind of looked down upon and frowned upon. And so like it's so, you don't realize it at the time, especially when I was 12 years old. But like looking at it now, it's like the reason why like you're so bought into Billy and Stu is because like as somebody that like grew up gay, you could tell that like, oh, like Stu's in love with him, and like Billy might not be in return, but he's playing along into it to get Stu to do what he wants to do. And like, I can't tell you how often it happens in the gay community where it's like, you cling on to like the littlest little bits of pieces you can. And like, you end up doing dumb shit for that person that you never should have done, because it's like, well, my options are so limited. Like it's so limited what I could do. And like, they even pointed out in Scream 2, where it's like, they call Billy a homo repressed mama's boy. That's what like Jamie Kennedy's character says. So they even like allude to it a year later that like, yeah, that kind of was in the movie. The fact that they were like possibly gay lovers. And like Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, when they do conventions now, they even talk about it. And like, Matthew Lillard will say all the time, they'll go, yeah, we're the first gay couple of horror, basically. And so it's like, they feed into it now, but like, it's very, back in the day, it was very kind of subtext. And when you watch it now, it's like through the lens you have now, it's like, oh, this is just text. Like they're like,
it's obvious.
It's like so obvious. And like, there's even like the moment where they're like confronting Sydney, and like, Stu's like neck is like right on Billy. It's almost like they're like cuddling from behind kind of a thing. And like that framing is not accidental, and it's like Kevin Williamson was very aware of the two gay lovers who were serial killers, Leopold and Loeb. And so like it's very much like that kind of dynamic going on. So I always feel like Scream has always been great about like delivering that kind of like queer eye into the horror movie, because horror is very like just inherently queer. And then you have like, when you have a gay screenwriter, when you have like, they're able to bring those characters to life, and it's like you're getting away with something at the time, and then people kind of read into it over the years, and then you don't really get away with it anymore, but it's still like it makes it worth watching for a completely different reason now.
I feel dumb. I feel like I missed all of this. But I haven't watched them as much as you.
Yeah.
Watching them, what I kind of skimmed through it because we were going to do this, and watching that kitchen scene where they're stabbing each other.
Yes, it's they're literally penetrating each other. Like
with what you've just said, that totally makes sense.
Yep. And it's like it's like we always joke like, or like, like, oh, Billy's the dom and like Stu's like the sub a little bit, and it's like,
don't go too deep.
That's correct. He literally tells him not to go too deep, and it's like, oh my god, like, wow, this is not subtext.
it's brilliant. The one thing that struck me, this is not necessary, it doesn't really connect to that, but when he comes out, Skeet Ulrich, we don't really know that he's the bad guy yet. And he's bleeding at the top of the stairs, and he tumbles down. Who's gonna tumble down the stairs when they're not really hurt?
I know.
He puts on a good show, though. It makes it more believable.
The most brilliant thing about the movie too is like they tell you who the killer is, like at like the 25-minute mark. Like they're like, it's the boyfriend. And then the brilliant thing about the movie is that it convinces you that it's not, even though they already told you that it was. So it's like, that's what's the most brilliant thing about the reveal, is like, we already pegged him as the killer, and the movie did all this work to convince us that he wasn't before revealing, no, he was the whole time.
And even if they didn't tell us, we would have suspected anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, he's supposed to, like, that's like, it's almost like that's the brilliant twist of it, is like the most obvious person, you're like, no, he's too obviously the killer, and it's like, nope, he is the killer. Like, he's obviously, because he is the killer.
I don't even remember who I used to think was the killer the first time I saw it.
Oh, I couldn't remember. I feel like I thought it was like the police officer, like the sheriff, because they all wear the same boots. You know, what a coincidence. You know, it's like it's like an urban legend how they all wear the LL Bean fucking hoodie thing.
Do you write these things into your scripts too? They all have the same boots.
I mean, no, absolutely not.
So, but you said this is the film that kind of started off your interest in screenwriting. So when you get this little, the script, this book, when do you start dabbling yourself, or do you just read for a while?
Immediately. I was writing slasher movies when I was 12, 13 years old, and like they're awful, like absolutely terrible. But of course they're written by a child, and they're all like Scream ripoffs, obviously, like to the extent that they could be. And so it's like, there's nothing like great about them, but like, that's how I practiced how to write. So it's like, I would just write scripts. I was like, okay, so like this, there's no right, or because people always argue about like formatting and stuff like that. There's no right or wrong way to format a script as far as like how much information you're giving in like your action beats and stuff like that. At least I don't think so. Like sometimes you have to say in the script, like, this is what the person is actually saying, so it's like, so people can read that. But it's like, that's how, my first scripts were terrible. They read almost like books, but they were formatted with the dialogue, bullets and everything. But, that's how I learned how to write. So it's like, I just kept reading these scripts.
And you write drama just as good as you write horror, like Wishing and Hoping. I know this is a horror show, but Wishing and Hoping is so lovely and sweet and touching and funny. It's so good.
The thing is, like, I've written like other Christmas comedies. Like I wrote like a gay rom-com Christmas one like 2019. I think I wrote it. 2018.
Did it get made?
No, it did not get made. So it got sent to Netflix. Netflix said, no, thank you. We already have something like this in production. Their gay Christmas movie comes out. It is absolutely nothing like mine, but it's like, they're like, no, we already have that, we already have that quote, and like a quote.
Yeah. We check that box.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, all right. So it's like just there. So like I've written other stuff that's not horror, but it's like, I only really get hired to write the horror and the thrillers and stuff like that.
But you must love it because it's,
of course. Of course. Yeah. It's like I like all movies. Just horror is always a thing that I've been like, that's the passion, like horror is the passion. Even though like my dream would be to write like a dark comedy one day. Like Heathers is my favorite movie of all time. So like my goal is to write like a very dark comedy along those lines, but the problem is you can't get something like that made anymore.
Nothing's being made anymore.
Yeah, nothing's being made anymore. I mean, like, I always wanted to make like a super like overtly queer horror movie, but you can't pitch that to anyone anymore because queer representation's dropping. Yeah,
for the reason
exactly the reason why you think it is. Yeah. So like gay characters in movies and TV has gone down. I think it's something like 25% over the past year. So it's like they just don't want to deal with like the controversy of it. So it's like it's hard to get something like that made. So I end up writing like, Popeye The Slayer Man, which is fine because I love doing stuff like that,
That's amazing. Yeah, if you could just do that all the time, what the heck?
Yeah. Like I'll never be like, no, I'm too good. No, I'm not too good for that. Like
I would do anything, because I'm an actor. I would do any horror thing. I just want to die in horror. That's my dream.
Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, no, like they're like, oh, are you available to do this? I'm like, absolutely.
No shame. Absolutely.
Yeah,
they're gonna pay
because
you.
Like I feel like even the most like I think Scream is a good example of like on the surface the storyline is like, oh, somebody obsessed with horror movies goes on a killing spree, but it's like you can take the most basic of like premises like that and just do so much with it. You know, like Scream is saying so much. And I think Scream is that perfect movie that kind of like bridges Gen X and millennial very well. You know, like as I'm considered like a geriatric millennial because I'm at the very like beginning of it. So it's like
I'm young Gen X.
So I grew up like analog and everything. So I think like Scream really captures like kind of like that attitude of the time, that teen, that Gen X-y, that like millennial, like self-awareness. So it's like that perfect encapsulation. And it's like it's saying so much before, like it's predicting a lot of future. Like it has so much commentary on like violence in the media and stuff like that. And like then in 3 years later we have Columbine, which like I was a freshman in high school. So like that like completely changed every piece of media that was like put towards my generation and everything.
Yeah.
And Scream was really like predicting that in a way of like, oh, they're gonna blame the movies, they're gonna blame the video games. Cause like in Scream 2, like the killer Mickey even says, he was like, I'm gonna blame it on the movies and they're gonna buy it. The court's gonna eat it up. You know, and like that's literally what they were doing.
Blamed,
yeah,
the Matrix.
Yep.
And I worked with Nev Campbell in '99.
Did you?
Production assistant on Party of Five.
Oh, I love that. I used to watch every episode of Party of Five.
The last year of it. Oh, I worked with her when Scream 3 came out, and I remember saying something to her. She's like, "Yeah, thanks, Bucko." I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, she was nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. Is a great recommendation. Anything else you want to say before our bloody spotlight?
No, I just like to say, like, if you're somebody that like kind of wrote Scream off as just like that self-aware pop culture movie, like go back and watch it. Just like look at what it's actually saying, look at like what it's actually doing, look at how like well it introduces characters in just a couple lines and you know exactly who they are right away. Like Tatum, I think, is the best example of like her first exchange with Sydney. The first time we meet her, she was like, they're like, where they're talking about how like Drew Barrymore was killed. She's like, her insides were on the outside. And she was like, and like, she's like, oh, she sits next to me in class. And she was like, not anymore. So it's like, you know who that character is right away. So like the economic storytelling of that movie. And like Wes Craven is a hit or miss director in my book. I think he's like brilliant with ideas. His execution, I think he tries to do a lot of mixing of tones that it doesn't always work, but I think Scream and Scream 2 are like the best things he's ever directed as far as like knocking it out of the park of like balancing tone and violence and horror. So it's like, I just think that like, like just going back and watching it of like what he's doing, what he's trying to do with like the fact that it's so brightly lit and like really kind of putting you into that world of like, oh, this is safe. This is a safe neighborhood. And then like really just messing that up
and ramping it up. Yeah, totally true.
Yeah.
I just took that brightness and I think my brain stopped there. I'm like, oh, I'm watching a sitcom.
Yeah, and that's the point. I feel like is like it's kind of like lull you into thinking you're in a safe spot, and it's all like the beautiful '90s homes and stuff like that, and like I don't know, just as an artifact of the '90s, I think it's fantastic, and like. It does irritate me when like kids today watch and they laugh at like, what are you doing with this cellular telephone, son? And it's like, oh my God, just accept it that with the time that it was in. Yeah. Like worlds existed before any of us like were alive. So we just have to accept stuff like that for what it was at the time.
Yes, we did not have the option to play with our cell phones in movie theaters
Correct.
back then.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to ask you earlier before we go on to the next thing. Do you prefer to watch a movie in a crowded cinema or Home Alone?
Lately more Home Alone, but like just because people acting in theaters, it's just not what it used to be. I love a nice active crowd. Like I'll never forget when I saw Bride of Chucky in a theater opening night and like how into that movie people were. And like I remember seeing I saw a 20th anniversary of Halloween H2O. I saw Halloween H2O in theaters, but like I saw it on like a Friday afternoon when it first opened and it wasn't busy, but I saw a 20th anniversary screening of it back in 2018. And like the way that the crowd was so into it. Like when like Jamie Lee chopped his head off at the end, you know, it's like we all consciously ignored what happens in Halloween Resurrection. We just like put that movie out of our minds and we're so just like into it. So I love a crowd experience. I just don't think that's really feasible now, like with the way that crowds do act.
Unless you go to like the first show of the day.
Correct. Yeah.
We both do.
Yep, exactly. And like I love going when it like I'll go on like a Monday night, you know, when there's nobody in there, stuff like that. It's like I still love the experience of it, but I miss like when everyone was kind of on the same page in the theater. Like that doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't happen anymore. Here is today's bloody spotlight.
On today's Bloody Spotlight, we are joined by actor, singer, songwriter Matthew Patrick Davis. As an actor, you know him from Henry Danger, Dwight in Shining Armor, American Dad, and from his highly successful YouTube production of A Nightmare Before Christmas Live, and Alien on The Late Late Show, and that zombie from that Sprint commercial. But today we are here to talk to him about his role as the mother in the highly successful 20th Century Studios movie Barbarian. Everyone please welcome Matthew Patrick Davis.
Matthew, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks for having me.
Before we really delve into it, I need to ask you a very important question.
Yes.
Do you even like horror?
I do, although I still have a bunch of horror blind spots that I am trying to fill in. But yeah, I did like I love The Shining, and I even wrote a half-hour musical based on The Shining. And grew up loving Evil Dead 2 and stuff like that. But it actually wasn't until being on the set of Barbarian that I was asking Zachcregger like, what are your favorite horror movies?
I'm gonna play some clips from Barbarian, and then we can talk about it.
How do you know she can't get in here?
Shit, I've been living in this place more than 15 years, and she ain't never came in this motherfucker.
So how does singer, songwriter, actor Matthew Patrick Davis go from singing and songwriting to playing the mother in Barbarian?
Yeah, just playing a large, naked, feral woman. It totally tracks. And
it's a natural progression.
It makes perfect sense as the same time as I'm writing like a kid's album of songs about dogs. I grew up doing theater and tall and skinny, and so I've particularly been attracted to like tall and skinny physical comedians and people that use their height for perhaps comedic purposes. And then when I found out who Doug Jones was like 20 years ago, I was like, oh, the Pan's Labyrinth guy is the Shape of Water guy, is the Hellboy guy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's like a cool way to use your physicality for perhaps frightening purposes or, that kind of thing. So when I put that together, I was like, I'd like to do that someday. And then my manager, he represents a lot of comics, and he happens to also represent Doug Jones. And so by sheer coincidence, I was like, hey, and by the way, I know who Doug is and would love to do that also. And then since then, my manager's been able to kind of do the Doug Jones pivot. When people come to him for Doug and he's unavailable, he'll be like, I have a different tall, skinny actor. That is how I got on a short list. And so I met with Zachcregger over Zoom, and he was like, is this even anything you'd want to do, man? And I was like, why? Because prosthetics are uncomfortable. And he's like, no, because you'd be naked, man, ass out. and shave your eyebrows, and stuff like that. I'm like,
wow.
Oh, well, I'm not a lady, so I'm not going to be naked. There was a cut scene that you can still see in the digital extras, but where the mother, when she's trying to feed AJ, AJ is just not latching. And so she grabs a rat and bites the head off of a rat and baby birds it into his mouth. But this audition was me doing that scene. And he was just like, grab a hot dog, something. And I happen to have pickles in the fridge. And also he's like, I hate myself for asking this, but can you take your shirt off in the audition? Which is usually a red flag in audition.
Yeah.
Directors like, take your shirt off. But I did, and it looked weird with me in shorts. So I was in my underwear, just drooling pickle juice all over. But that was the booker apparently. And then I was off to Bulgaria.
Do you get immediately, fitted for the makeup?
They did a life cast of my head and of my chest and of my crotch. And then they sent that to Bulgaria. They sent my bulge area to Bulgaria. I was very scared and it was a leap of faith. And, but then once we started doing makeup tests, they started to get it really dialed in. And I was like, oh, this might work. I don't look like me.
Why did they decide to use a man as opposed to a woman in this role?
I think it was because of height. Like they were looking for someone like 7 feet tall, and they settled for 6'8".
How do you become this character?
Yeah, the makeup is a huge help, obviously. Like you just sit in the mirror and watch yourself slow motion transform and you go, oh, okay. But leading up to it, it was like, as soon as Zach decided that I was his guy to play his lady, he sent me down the rabbit hole of, he said, look up feral children. And I didn't know even really what that meant, but I went down a dark YouTube rabbit hole of real life people that were raised in captivity, that were raised in cages, who as a result are nonverbal. And also a lot of them had kind of like an animalistic physicality. It was like very sad, but also really allowed me to like empathize with this character and realize, oh, it's not just a scary monster. Like she's a victim of this horrific abuse that is alluded to in the film. My favorite monsters are ones that you empathize with and that you realize like, oh, they're actually not the monster. Maybe the monster is us. In the end, you feel bad for King Kong. In the end, you feel bad for Frankenstein's monster. Like it kind of goes back to the beginning of monster movies.
So how was it working with Zach? Obviously with weapons and with this, he's become quite the big deal.
He knew what he wanted. And because he'd been like writing it for 2 years and kind of just like imagining the movie in his head the whole time. And so for me, that was like, oh, am I even going to be, is anyone going to buy that I'm even a lady? I was probably like spraying anxiety on him, and he would be like, we got it. Trust me, we got it. He was good at pivoting on his feet. Like that first scene that you just showed of me like coming through the wall and then ripping the guy's arm off.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be in the same shot as he's like, I've been here for 15 years and she ain't ever coming this. And then you're supposed to see my whole body kind of like Kool-Aid Man through the wall in that one shot. And it was funny, in Bulgaria, they made this breakaway wall, and the crew was like, it is so fragile. Don't even breathe on it. Don't touch it. It is this fragile breakaway wall, and we only have one go at it. And then so they yell action, and I hear him say his line, and I put my whole body into this wall, and it just breaks like where my shoulder hits. It doesn't break where my like skinny legs are. I kind of trip fall through the hole, and you could just hear Zach go, okay. And then he's like, all right, well, we'll cut and then cut back and have you just jump through the hole. So through the magic of editing, he saved that moment. And that was just one of multiple examples of just seeing him be light on his feet despite having planned everything out.
You must have been in the chair a long time.
Yeah, the first test, it was like 5 hours, and then they got it faster and faster every time. And also it was like they had a pit crew of like 7 or 8 people that were working on my whole body at the same time. It felt like I was a Formula One car.
So ultimately, as a whole, how was the experience working on the film?
It was just like bonkers crazy. Just every day was crazy. It was just like, oh, today I'm what? I'm forcibly breastfeeding Justin Long, and then working with a real rat and then a fake rat that spurts blood, and then I'm spitting bloody prosciutto into Justin's open mouth, and then today
That's so fun.
Bill Skarsgård. I just seen him in the It's, and and then I'm bashing his head against a wall and killing him, and just every day was insane. And then the last day was me jumping off the water tower, which was done on a green screen, and they had me in a full flight rig, like with like giant fans. So that was like a fitting final day of this crazy movie where, and now Mother's flying like Peter Pan.
Did you enjoy the gore part of it, ripping heads open, ripping off limbs?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's great to be at the end of the day. You're all like covered in fake blood and sticky because of the glue, sticky because of the fake blood. And I don't know. It's just, and then, like working with a prosthetic head that looks exactly like Justin Long, and getting to like stick your fingers through his eye holes and then have like all this goop come out of it.
You're in the horror lexicon as one of these huge characters in the horror world. That must be kind of cool.
It is fun. I've been able to go to like horror conventions. I use these just for my photo ops and just ask them, okay, so, and do you want to be my baby? And then, so I have that. Now there's all these photos of me bottle feeding people all around this great country of ours.
Did you have any idea it was going to be a success?
No. I mean, you read the script and like, you have no idea. Is this going to go direct to streaming? Is this just going to disappear? Sure. I have no idea. And then, like when I got to Bulgaria, Zach was like, New Regency just picked it up. Like that's if we don't fuck it up, we have a chance this might like get a theatrical release. And then Zach calls me like, 20th Century just picked this up. Like, this is really getting a theatrical release, whoa, that's exciting. And then the reviews come out and it's like 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's exciting. And then seeing it in the theater with people, hearing their reactions, that was like a revelation to me. I wouldn't have known, because like you read the script, you know what's going to happen.
Sure.
And it isn't until like hearing it through someone else's reactions that you realize like, oh yeah, like people they don't know what's gonna happen. And oh yeah, obviously my entrance is pretty shocking. So it was fun to get that experience of seeing it with people.
Is there anything coming up you want to mention before I free you?
I did just recently go back to Bulgaria to play a different scary lady in a different horror movie. So that is either going to be called The Red Box or Samodiva, which is the name of my character. And then in December, I'm shooting a movie called The Shepherd. And that one is starring Georgina Campbell, who was in Barbarian, and playing a different scary creature. And then, in January, February, March, I'm going to be in Amadeus at the Pasadena Playhouse.
Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Did you see Barbarian?
Of course, I saw it in theaters. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I think Barbarian's great. Like, I remember watching it for the first time and being like a little mad at the switch halfway through. And that's only because they did such a good job of like buying, like the audience buying into that first half of the movie and like the chemistry between Skarsgård and the girl, I forget her name, but like the lead girl. Like I was so into like their interactions that like when Justin Long came along, I was like, what? Like, and then like it all comes together at the end, and then you're like, okay, like I get it. I get why they did that. But yeah, Barbarian's great.
Yeah, it's fun. And I thought he was great in it too.
He was. Like, I had no idea that it was a man.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't. To my sister-in-law, was like, my friend is her boyfriend is this guy. I'm like, what? No way. It's a guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I'm just going to briefly recommend a movie that I loved. I believe you have seen it. The movie is called Dark Harvest. It was.
Oh yes, yep.
It kind of trickled out into streaming in 2023. Was released in one movie theater, like had one screening at like a one of those draft house places, the Alamo Draft House, and it went nowhere. I'm just going to briefly play the trailer, and then we can talk about it for a second.
Old Sawtooth Jack is going to rise from the cornfields. It's got to be stopped. Kill or be killed.
It must die, so we can live. Your sacred duty is to take down Sawtooth Jack before that church bell rings at midnight.
It's real.
You should do it.
You know I'm not allowed.
Just because your brother won the run last year?
This whole town is going straight to hell!
Why are you doing this?
Tonight.
As we are now in October, I think this is a perfect Halloween time film. It looks great, great practical effects. At times, the story is a little convoluted, so I imagine for a screenwriter, it might be frustrating to watch something like this. But what did you think of this movie?
Oh no, I love this movie. I think they did it I think they did a great job of the book is very short, and so they did a great job of kind of expanding that out and like creating this world. I know you talked about Long Walk at the beginning, like because this reminds me a lot of Long Walk, but this is through like that fun supernatural lens that I prefer, like that. I can like totally buy into like dumb plot conveniences and convolutedness as long as like I'm having a good time while doing it. Like as long as like everything else looks good, and I think that they nailed the landing. So that's what I think really works about the movie too, is like, even though it's not a depressing movie, it does kind of have a gut punch of an ending a little bit.
Yes.
And so, yeah. So I like, even before the ending, when the reveal like of like Sawtooth Jack and like his identity and stuff like that, I think all that is done so sincere. And like in another director's hand, it could be so over the top and goofy because of like, what it is, the effects, like that creature effect and everything like that.
I think it is so sad that it's not considered. I don't know. I see like the IMDb reviews are so not kind. And I think it should be a movie people watch every year at Halloween time.
It's definitely a hidden gem. And I love like just the autumnal vibe of it too. I'm a sucker for when like I'm watching a movie in October and the movie feels cold. Like, and this movie feels cold, and it feels,
I think you see the breath, don't you?
Yeah, you see the breath a lot. And I think they do a really good job of like subverting the expectations of like who's gonna die and when too, like amongst like the supporting characters and stuff like that. So I just think it's so well done. I think it clips by super fast too. Like it's over before you know it, kind of a movie.
I think it's under an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's 85 minutes.
Had you read the book before you saw it?
So I read the book when I heard the movie was finally coming to VOD. So I read the book like right before I blind bought it on like iTunes.
Which is, I did the same thing, bought it, but I had not read the book. And I think maybe having read the book probably filled in some of that middle part where it's unclear.
Not really.
No.
Like, so the movie, the book is very short, and it's like they added a lot more mythology into the movie. The book, I think like the good thing about the book is where it might have a little bit of an edge over the movie is that like there's very little explanation, so they don't dive into a lot of information, so you don't have a lot of questions. And so the movie had to expand that out a little bit just to like fill the runtime and like create a world. But like the book is still, they're good for, each of them are good in their own respective ways.
First time I saw it, I'm like, why are they why is everyone locked in their houses? I didn't understand this. They want to make them hungry, so they'll go. Yeah.
They do get into that a little bit more because it is like, you do get like a little bit more perspective of how starving they are and like how like ravenous they are when they get let out of their rooms.
Yeah, if we had a little bit more of that in the film, I think it would have helped. But everyone check out, obviously, Scream, and I will watch it again with a new perspective on it, a more a mature perspective on it. And definitely check out Dark Harvest. Do you have anything coming out you want to mention or speak up or?
No, not anything right now. I mean, like if you're in the mood for just a fun slasher movie, you can go watch Popeye the Slayer Man is now for free on Tubi.
Oh wow. Okay.
I know it was like their number 1 in horror movies, like back when it first went on Tubi. So like people are watching it, which is good. So like so you can find it there. And then like if you can find, I recommend if you want to watch something else that I wrote, Dead Souls. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. And you could watch that one. That's a haunted house movie that I wrote for the Chiller Network that does not exist anymore. They were folded into Sci-Fi.
Okay.
So that was back in 2012, and that's for the horror movies that I've written. That's probably the most well made, I would say. I'd say the most well constructed, just all together.
Okay.
Very,
It's
very
certainly
like
well written.
Yes, correct.
I have to say, I haven't seen it, so I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that's I always tell people to watch that one because it's like it's spooky. It's a spooky little ghost movie.
And in 2 months, what else should they watch?
Oh, Wishing and Hoping. You can find
Oh,
that.
that's a good call.
You can buy it on iTunes. It finally got a life. It was missing in action for about 5 or 6 years.
I know that was sad because it's
Yeah,
so good.
it was so sad. But yeah, it's finally out there now. Wishing and Hoping. It is a heartwarming little children's kind of witty comedy, I would say.
It's so witty. It has Molly Ringwald, Chevy Chase, Meatloaf, and Molly Ringwald's sister. Blanche Baker.
Yeah, she was her sister
from 16
in
Candles.
16 Candles. Yeah, and they didn't know each other were in the movie until
Oh, really? I
they
thought that
saw
was
each other. I mean, we intentionally cast them like
okay.
that.
I thought it was a gimmick purposely.
Yeah, they did not know. Like Molly had no idea that Blanche was going to be there, and she hadn't seen her since like the 80s. So
did they get along on set?
Oh yeah, for sure. They
Okay.
they were very happy to see each other. But like,
Okay, cool.
Molly had no idea that she had been cast in it.
I want behind the scenes dirt. Oh, wow.
I know. I mean, Molly. I was like, everyone's always like, "Oh, was she really?" Like, I'm like, Molly was great.
Yeah, she was so down to earth.
Trust me, I got plenty of actors I could talk shit about, but like, she's not one
Who?
of them. Mario Lopez.
Oh, really? He looks the same as he has for like 30 years.
Yeah, Botox will do that for you.
Yeah, so he's a jerk.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible. Mm-hmm.
Don't watch Mario Lopez
Yeah.
on Access Hollywood. Don't watch it.
Yeah, I will say that the best person ever is Keke Palmer. So she is exactly like she is.
I know that
in the
name. Who
movie,
is that?
yeah. She's you would know her if you saw her. She's
Okay.
She was
I'll
in
look her up.
Hustlers, is what her like bigger movie was recently, and
Okay.
One of Them Days last year. But yeah.
See, I'm old. I don't know these things.
Oh, she's fabulous.
Okay, I'll look her up. Thank you. Can people follow you on Instagram or
Oh
something?
yeah. I'm on Instagram. I deleted my Twitter, obviously.
Yeah.
Or my ex, whatever the hell. But yeah, I still am clinging to the Instagram for now. It's Johnny_Doolan. And I mean, if you just want to see like funny like posts about movies and like dumb shit that I do and like costumes that I wear at events and like Halloween stuff, like that's
Which
where
I
to find
stole for the image at the beginning.
it. Yeah, exactly.
I hope that's okay.
Did a sleepaway camp costume for P-Town's Carnival back in August. So
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
of
John
course.
Doolan, for your time. This was
Of
really, really
course.
fun. And maybe you'll come back someday and talk about more horror
Yeah,
movies?
anytime. I'm always down to talk about horror movies.
Jumpscare rewind. Jumpscare.